Right, Jamahal Hill is going to destroy Jiri Prochazka. Jiri got completely exposed by Alex Pereira in their last fight. Whereas Jamahal Hill, he just got caught. It's completely different. Well, that's what Jamal's been saying anyway. Do you agree? Whilst Jamahal Hill is a clinically delusional man, I actually think this take isn't too far off. So let's take a look at it. We've got Jiri Prochazka versus Jamahal Hill at UFC 311. It's such a good card that this matchup doesn't even seem to be getting that much attention, which is mental really, because this is a really fun matchup, both in terms of styles and fighting, but also in terms of personalities. Both really strong, interesting characters, and both quite opposing characters as well. It's kind of got a bit of everything. It's a little bit of a shame that this one isn't a co-main, because it would be nice if it was getting a little bit more attention. It's only going to be an entertainment one anyway. And when you think about all the stoic figures that are going to make up the majority of the press conferences for this, I'd imagine these two lunatics are going to be a large part of the entertainment and the build-up. Look, I don't think we're necessarily looking at a fight of the year contender here, although you never know, potential's there. I do think there's some truth to Jamal's takes on this matchup. You've got to admit, the gaping holes in Jiri's defence are just a little bit too big to hold up against the higher level competition of this weight class. But as much as he's a bit of a helmet, you've got to give it to the old salty donut. Jamal's striking is up there. He's also shown to have finishing power. So Jiri's been going on about breaking himself down and rebuilding and all that shit. But if the old special needs samurai hasn't been making drastically large leaps forward in his defence, he's most probably going to get knocked out. If Jiri does actually manage to pull off the win, it's actually a bit of a problematic situation for the weight class. After his last fight with Alex, it doesn't exactly leave you wanting to see that fight for a third time. As much as I love Jiri, it's probably one of the least desirable matchups I can think of for Pereira at the moment. Can you imagine Uncle Fester having to drum up interest in that matchup? And if Jiri loses, I mean, come on, it's game up, isn't it? All his weird samurai shtick is going to lose all mystique, and it's all just going to look a bit silly. He's just going to be run matchups and be kept well away from title contention from then on. If Jamal wins, it just works so much better. Him rematching Alex is just such a better proposal. His previous fight might not lasted much longer than me watching a Mackenzie Dern grappling session. And watching it back, with Pereira already at the end of round one starting to pressure Jamal back, it did seem like a finish was inevitable. But you got to give it to the old sausage. Jamal didn't look too bad in there until he got caught. But, crucially, he did get caught. It all depends on how generous you are when considering whether Herb Dean getting involved played into it much. Although I'm sure you'll agree, I'm far more interested in seeing Jamal have another go at Alex than Jiri. But going back to this fight, skill-wise, Jamal is the cleaner, more technical striker, clearly. He's got great boxing, he's good at managing distance and picking his shots, skills that are going to come in well handy against Jiri's mad style. Jamal's power is also deceptive, and Jiri coming off a nasty knockout in his last fight really doesn't help matters. Jiri's best bet is to overwhelm Jamal. But sadly for Jiri, Jamal is actually quite good under these high pressure transactions. But it's just in that moment when Jiri goes full retardo that the magic really happens. That's where you see those Jiri flashes of Forrest Gump greatness. It's never out of the question that Jiri will catch an opponent with some weird spinning attack or some out of left field strike. Now it's only 3 rounds, so both fighters should hold up easily cardio wise. Neither of them typically push to grappling, so it's pretty safe to assume this is going to be a striking battle, unless one of them gets desperate. And the trash talk in the build-up has got the potential to get a bit personal. These two have got a little bit of history going back and forth on social media. For Jiri, this is a chance to show his growth and get back in the conversation. For Jamal, this is a chance to silence the haters. I think it's going to be mentally tough for Jamal to fight such a universally loved fighter as Jiri. He's got an internal pressure for validation, and he can't help but take everything really personally. Can Jiri use all this in the build-up to create chaos? If Jiri, the fan base and the demons in Jamal's head can rattle his ego enough, he might just go in there and be waspy enough to make mistakes or get caught up in Jiri's momentum. That is, however, the only way I really see Jiri winning. I'd love to see Jiri come in, all new, all refreshed, all reprogrammed, implementing some strategy and defence. In a similar way to when Gagey came back and reinvented himself, and going from like the chaotic highlight reel Gagey to that technical composed version that took fucking Tony Ferguson's soul. But as much as I want to see that, I just don't believe it. And if the Jiri that we all know and love goes in there, Jamal is probably going to manage to stay composed. He's probably going to do quite a good job of managing Jiri's wild attacks. and he's going to counter-punch him with great timing and precision, and I think he's going to knock Jiri out. That's how I see it going. Let me know if you're incorrect and see it another way. So many good fights on this card that I think I'm probably going to do a reaction to the card stroke kind of takeaways video. And if you like this video, give us a sub, check out this playlist of recent bangers. I'll see you next time.